are ready to rejoin the rotation. Good morning to you. Talking about Carlos Rodon on his way back. The word is this weekend in Milwaukee. Wow, we're excited. We're anxious. How long can he go? How does he feel?
Yes, Lauren, good morning. Very good news for the New York Yankees on top of where the American League standings sit today. Of course, the best record in the American League belongs to the Pinstripes, and Carlos Rodon due to return and make his season debut this weekend. He was able to get up to over 80 pitches in his most recent rehab start. There you see the sharpness on the mound. Aaron Boone saying the Yankees feel like he's ready to go. Garrett Cole probably a couple weeks behind him, so they should be at full strength, provided health overall by the end of this month. One bit of news there, Ryan Weathers was going to pitch today, but he has been sidelined due to a viral infection, so he is not pitching today for the Yankees. It'll be Paul Blackburn instead. So Weathers likely rejoins the rotation next week. The Yankees now have something that very few teams do at this stage, which is more than 5 healthy pitchers. Still a bit TBD on how the rest of the rotation might get handled, about if guys get an extra day. Maybe they go to a 6-man rotation for a certain period of time. But the good news for them is Rodon is ready. They have been very deliberate with how they have progressed him out. He is, frankly, more than ready to go. And the same is likely to be true of Garrett Cole in just a couple weeks' time. So the Yankees getting stronger by the day.
And not all teams have that luxury. You could put the Cubs at the top of that list, winning despite a few major voids. And Matthew Boyd, the latest meniscus surgery. What happened on the north side?
Yes, Lauren. Well, first and foremost, it was really a fluke injury for Matthew. Injured his knee while playing with his kids at home, and now he's going to be out for a period of time as he gets knee surgery to address that, joining the likes of Cade Horton and Justin Steele already now on the injured list. So as great as things are going for the Cubs, and they have been great, the vibes at Wrigley are the best they've been in a while with all these walk-offs. This, to me, is an area that will likely be addressed at the trade deadline by Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins. And one name that I would mention to keep an eye on, Bailey Over yesterday pitched again for the Minnesota Twins, pitched pretty well. The game got away a little bit late on the Twins, but I would expect the Cubs to be heavily involved again in the market for starting pitching, especially when you consider the duration of Horton's absence. Steele and Boyd obviously could still factor in to this rotation before the season is over. But you think about a team like the Twins, the Marlins, who have been a trade partner with the Cubs before. They've got still one pitcher by the name of Alcantara still available. Potentially. Again, we're a little bit early days here, but the Marlins are below 500 now and almost always in the market to have that conversation. We'll see if those talks are revived. But there to me, are a lot of reasons why the Cubs want to add one pitcher, because when you look at this lineup and you got Dansby Swanson batting 8th or 9th, the depth there, Lauren, is as good as there is anywhere in Major League Baseball. They might be one pitcher away from celebrating that 10th World Series anniversary in style here in 2026.
Pitching in October is paramount. They will certainly address it. We've been trying to move Sandy for 5 years out of South Florida.
Lauren,
okay.
you never know.
What about the Tigers? They could certainly use an arm. Tarek Skubal with the injury and the surgery and the Framber Valdez news. What happens now? I mean, we know they enjoy pitching chaos, but how long can they do that? They can't do that for 5 months.
No, they can't. And the pitching chaos, I'm glad you asked it that way, Lauren, because the pitching chaos of 24 worked because they had Skubal to soak up the innings.
Sure.
Chaos every day of a 5-day set doesn't really work. And so Skubal is going to be out, we believe, 2.5 months, give or take, after the bone chip surgery. And now the Framber Valdez suspension, as you see there. Jason Beck, in his story at MLB.com, had a very sobering note if you're a Tiger fan. They may need to have 4 openers in a span of 8 games. I'll say it again. 4 openers in a span of 8 games. The math does not math there for the Tigers. And of course, they will have Cater Montero tomorrow, a very badly needed day off today. Jack Flaherty gave them some encouraging returns last night, but this is all of a sudden a significant weakness for this team. They do believe Jackson Jobe will come back, but all these same elements could certainly come into play as they look for other options, bulk pitchers at different points. They believe that Melton can help them. They believe in the next month or so. But this is quickly becoming a full-blown pitching crisis for the Detroit Tigers right now, very acutely. And this has not been a front office that has necessarily spent a ton of assets to make trades for big-time guys like an Alcantara at the deadline in the past. So it does not appear that a bunch of help is coming from external sources imminently. They're going to have some very good openers if they want to keep this season afloat until Skubal returns.
You speak with emotion, JP Morosi, you Michigander, you on the inside corner.
I'm going to see my mom. I'm seeing Nona today.
Tell Nona
Lauren,
hi.
I'm going to see Nona today. I'm going to give her a hug and tell her to have.
You on a compound, Dero?
He's got a compound. Brewers, Cardinals, Jake Bauers has a single.
I have 700 square feet apartment. That's what I have.
I was a glorified utility man my whole career. I got to stay in my lane.
Hey, Dero, important for this Brewers offense. Andrew Vaughn with the homer here. He is back. And Jackson Churio he's 6 for 9 to begin his season.
Yeah, they're starting to get their thump back, Robert. They can nickel and dime you with the hit and runs and Pat Murphy being creative in the pitching. But bottom line is you need Jackson Churio. You're going to need Yelich at some point. And Vaughn comes back with a huge bomb.
Yeah, Jackson Churio, 6 hits in his first 2 games of the season, 1 behind Cecil Cooper's franchise record. Padres, Gigantes, Rafi Devers, Oppo Pop ties the game at 1. Now, Matt Waldron did not start this game, D-Row, but he was effective. 5 innings, 7 strikeouts.
Going to go at top rail. He had it all working, Robert. Top of the zone heater, nasty breaker. Sanders coming up, speaking Papiamento.
Padres right there. They're hacking back in the West.
Yeah, Bogarts didn't start this game, came on as a defensive replacement, ends up with a 2-run bomb. Padres go on to win 5-1. That's right. Sheets and giggles. Padres take 2 of 3 from the Giants. Braves, Mariners, Brian Wu. D-Row, he had a couple of bumpy starts, but he looked like his old self yesterday.
He looked great yesterday. He really did. He's got that upshoot. We've chronicled it. Upshoot.
Season high 9 strikeouts for Wu and then J-Rod.
Braves lost their first series of the year.
Yes, they did.
Insane.
That's his 5th home run of the year for J-Rod. Jose Ferrer on for the save. And as Lauren mentioned, the Atlanta Braves suffer their first series loss this season. J-Rod, 3 homers so far in 6 games in May. He hit just 2 in the 32 games entering the month. All right, Rangers, Yankees. Corey Seager gets the Rangers started. 7th home run of the season, makes it 1-0. Aaron Judge.
It's funny. It seems to be that's where they want to attack Corey. Up and in.
Yeah.
Eventually made the adjustment.
Well, I'm not sure where you can attack Aaron Judge before he's going to eventually get you. He's a guy already got 15.
Where's Nate Eovaldi?
Well, he's coming up right here because he was excellent last night, and he has been really good against the Yankees his last handful of starts against his former team. 8 innings, longest start of the season for friend of the program, Nate Eovaldi. Rangers win 6-1. Okay, A's, Phillies. Tyler Soderstrom with the A's up 2-1. He makes it 3-1. He goes the other way. That was off Zach. That's funny.
I think it smells.
It probably doesn't smell great. You're right. And then we got Adolis Garcia. That is certainly a welcome sign. The Phillies need complementary pieces to augment or to bolster, fortify the offense. Adolis Garcia, Edmundo Sosa, who does excellent against left-handed pitching. Phillies have their 4th comeback win under Don Mattingly after having 4 under Rob Thompson.
Look at this, 8-1 under Mattingly, 32 extra base hits. And there's so many ways to love on what the Phillies have done this past week. We were on our production call this morning talking about Brandon Marsh, 3 hits against lefties yesterday, and his average 336, and Nate said it's 3rd best. We're like, what? Wow, the supporting cast, it's all working this past week. What has come together so well?
Listen, I just want to say everyone relax with the Phillies.
Okay.
The names on the back of the jersey say they're going to figure this out. Like at the end of the day, I do believe it. I think this is a wild card team. I think this is a team. I heard Yonder say last night on the call with Matty that he thinks they can win the division. I don't know if they can catch the Braves. It's a long season, but I think they would have righted this ship with Topper, Rob Thompson, but I think they did it a little bit. They were forced to do it a little bit quicker with Don Mattingly. It was almost like Dave Dombrowski said, hey, guys, this is on you to right the ship. You're going to watch a good man walk out this door. Let's get it going. And I want to say, outside of Harper, I don't think we've loved on Brandon Marsh enough. So I want to take you through a little details of last night's game. And we could pick out a lot of different spots to go. But I'm going to start with Zach Wheeler. Because Christopher Sanchez, Zach Wheeler, Luzardo, mix in a little Aaron Nola. They'll figure out from a starting rotation stance how to get it done in piece 162 together. And he's starting to find his fastball. The stuff had finish on it last night. He was sitting 94, 95. He's got weapons right there. He had the nasty splitter. Nobody tunnels the baseball better than Zach Wheeler. He'll give you the 2-seam, 4-seam heater, tunnel the split off it. You see Brent Rooker. How about a little backdoor breaking ball to Lawrence Butler? And then he gets you sitting off speed, and he blows that bullwhip 95 by you. So Zach Wheeler's starting to figure it out, people. Here we go. Brandon Marsh, we're going to give you love. It's not just the wet hair and beard. It's the fact that this guy has been raking since the start of May of last year.
Wow.
Last night, shows you a little small ball. I'll lay a bunt down. I'm going to beat Lawrence Butler over his head with a triple right here. And then I'm going to work a backside single for my third knock of the night. He has been really, really fantastic for this team offensively. While everyone struggled in the early part of the season, Brandon Marsh has been really good for this team. We're going to throw to a board right here. This shocked me when they sent it.
This is crazy.
Average leader since May of 2025.
Wow.
You got Yandy Diaz, who we expect to be up there, Jonathan Aranda. Don't wonder why the Rays win games. And Brandon Marsh at 311. So let's give him his flowers. Then the third thing I want to focus on, I know Bryson Stott wants to play every day, and you can make the argument that he could handle lefties. With the way he swings the bat, I don't think he's trying to necessarily pull homers like that. He could stay in there, his front shoulder against lefties, and be a starter against anybody. But if we're in the trust tree, Edmundo Sosa is like a glorified starter. He is not just your signature bench guy. He's more than that, and he's proven it over his time in the big leagues. When you take a look right here, comparisons versus left-handed pitching since the start of 2024. I get it. I love Bryson Stott. He was on my Gordon Gekko watch, so I expect him to go nuts. But you can't deny what Sosa does against left-handed pitching. I mean, it's an 840 OPS and a 133 weighted runs created plus. So Donnie Baseball is going to find ways to get that bat in the lineup and spot start him. I feel like when I was coming up, when I first broke into the league, I was dead set 25th man utility guy, defensive replacement. And then you start to find some offense. And then it's like, ooh, I'm like the 10th starter, like 6th man off the bench in basketball. So there's got to be ways to get Sosa in. And I don't think anybody on that roster should worry about how Donnie's going to use him.
Those numbers for Marsh and
coming
Sosa.
back.
Yeah, you're right.
Rico has come back. You can tell he is calmed the starters down.
Those numbers for Marsh and Sosa quite eye-popping. A's, Phillies wrap up that series a little bit later this evening in Philadelphia. Let's take a quick time out. When we come back, as we just showed you, the